Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Misty. Say hi, guys.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
So, what do we have going on this week? Well, I'll give you a heads up if it sounds a little different, if I cut out a little bit, if the audio isn't quite there this week. I do apologize. I am on the road. I'm a little jet lagged, and the connection might not be 100%. But also, there's not a whole ton to show off this week, as we generally do see the week after a force wipe and an update. Over here on staging, it's a little quiet, understandably, because a lot of the things we're seeing are in the realm of fixes and things like that, and forward progress on other branches that are not available to the public yet. But as always, what we're going to do is go through what is going on in Rust development. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to do Misty, that's me in chat, and we'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. Also, real quick, what's going on with wipes today? Well, our Rustified servers are wiping at the regular scheduled time, and that is 3 p.m. local time for the region, which means that EU has already wiped about, what is that, 3 hours ago. US servers will wipe in 2 hours at 3 p.m. Eastern. SEA, AU, they wiped, man, you missed it. They wiped like 12, 13 hours ago because they live in the future. But it is the Thursday only weekly wipe servers wiping today. So that's your mains, your smalls, your barons, and the like. And that's what we got going on for server wipes. Let's look at what is going on in Rust development. Actually, real quick, we got more Twitch drops coming next week. So starting on the 16th, next Tuesday, we've got several days of Twitch Rivals events going on. So if you haven't already, head on over to twitch.facepunch.com and make sure your accounts are linked. Also, they redesigned the page, they redesigned the account linking section. It looks nice and it's looking good. And if you scroll beyond that, you'll see this Twitch drops is, let's just say they're not skimping on it. There are, I believe, 23 drops total. I think it's going to take 2 hours per drop, something like that. But it's all to say there are a ton of beautiful, wonderful drops to have, and they're all yours if you go to twitch.facepunch.com, link your accounts, and then watch the Twitch Rivals event. This is Twitch Rivals 3, or I should say Rust Team Battle 3. It's going live. It's going to be live Tuesday the 16th, and it's going to be going for, I think, till the 20th, like for several days. So you got some good time to get those drops going. And it hasn't been a stream that's gone by in the last several months where people have said, hey, where's the next Twitch drops coming from? So here you go. You got it. Twitch drops are coming next Tuesday. Link your account in the meantime, and then tune into the Twitch Rivals event, and should be a good time. Also, what we got going on in development this week, as is, we'll generally see this after a force wipe and an update. We'll see some hot fixes go live. So if you have been playing for over the weekend and into the early week here, you might have loaded your Steam library and seen a couple client updates hit and everything like that. And that's generally speaking pretty normal. And what we saw basically was after the update that hit last Thursday, there were some hot fixes needed to ensure performance. There were some stability concerns. I'd also, as a server owner, say there's still some stability concerns, but there were some fixes towards that. There were improvements to performance and just some other miscellaneous little fixes that were unforeseen prior to the update going live. So we did see a couple of hot fixes going live. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one or two, but it looks like most of the ripples have been cleaned up, so to speak. So that is what's going on in hot fixes. Now, also, what we got going on this week is something that we see every now and again in Rust development, and it's in the realm of hack weeks. And if you're not familiar with development and stuff like that, sometimes what development studios will do or development teams will do is they'll give the developers a break for a week to say, you know what? Don't worry about what you had scheduled to work on this week. Just actually work on whatever you think would be the best value addition to this project, which in this case is Rust, right? So I get the sense, and once again, we're not developers, this is just we follow development news, we track the commits and everything. But occasionally, Facepunch will run these hack week things where certain developers will just take on projects that probably might otherwise not have been even worked on, but it's just the freedom and the space to work on them, and then maybe they make their way into the game. And so this week, we are seeing a couple Hack Week projects being worked on. Specifically of interest is the Caldera Biome Hack Week project. And this is something we saw in one of the Hack Weeks first at the end of last year. I feel like last November they did a Hack Week, and we saw Caldera um, from the start there. And what it looks like is this is going to be a new lava filled, kind of like heat filled biome. And so this week we're seeing them work on lava flows and specific foliage types and things like that to create this part of the procedural generated map that is going to be hot and lava filled, and I mean pretty much like an active volcano from what we can see. Now, given this is a Hack Week project, we don't know if this is going to make its way into normal procedural map generation, or if this is going to be just some nice addition to the game that modded servers or something like that can add in, or custom maps can add in. But regardless, it does look like there's going to be a new biome coming in at some point, and it's going to be very lava filled, very hot, and have, just much more heat, I guess, than we've seen in other biomes. So we're seeing work in the Caldera biome. Also, a new project this week, and this is something that we haven't seen in Hack Weeks before, is work on an AI arena. And it's not clear exactly what this is for. The commits have been a little ambiguous, and we haven't had any conversations specifically with the devs about, what this might be. But based on the commits, it looks like this could be a great arena for people to test out killing AI and going about PvE, maybe even PvP. And so maybe this could be a new type of, or lead into a new type of game mode or training mode for people to get better at the game without so much at stake, because you mine all the stuff, you get a gun, you go out roaming with it. You don't want to lose it because you're not that great at PvP. So wouldn't it be great to have some places? And of course, there are, places to do this already. But it looks like the devs are working on something that maybe could give us some more opportunities as players to train up on not only going at AI, but maybe even other players as well. So that is the test arena over on the Hack Week branch. Now, also, we have going on some charms are being worked on, and this is the final Hack Week project being worked on. And this is still on a separate branch as all this stuff is. So we can't show you off, unfortunately, any like cute little hangy charms or anything like that. But based on what we're seeing on the commits and what we've seen as charms are in other games and other contexts, it looks like you'll be able to maybe craft or find these charms and then add them, attach them as little, like kind of bling to your weapons or other things. So at the moment, we've seen via the commits, there's going to be a bean can charm, boots, pixel SMG, custom SMG, base charm, rotating disco ball, and a generic circle charm. So it looks like some form of like kind of bling for your either deployable items or handheld items is coming on in. And once again, Hack Week project, so might not be actually ever in the game, but seems like a cool little nice addition. So we're keeping an eye on that as well. And then finally, we do have some work on other stuff in the realm of Bradley specifically is not targeting players who are in a safe zone anymore. If you noticed with the update of the nuclear missile silo, there are this uh, end game, like end wipe uh, changes. And specifically, it looks like Bradley's roaming around a lot. It looks like the F-15Es flying overhead. The big bang, so to speak, with the nuclear missile silo and everything like that, that's actually still up in the air. Not sure what that is going to be. I think we might have to wait another couple of weeks until the devs are officially ready to, launch that and for us to see what that actual big bang is going to look like. But we can say with confidence that this new nuclear missile silo is going to be a part of a end game, end wipe kind of server event. And as part of that event, on the last day of wipe, there are going to be more Bradleys, more NPCs roaming the map. And so we've had some issues. If you don't set the server settings right properly, then the server can get confused and put some Bradleys out when it's not time. So there have been some issues with that. Mostly that's resolved. But within that, also, the devs have seen like, oh, Bradleys were kind of targeting players in safe zones. That's not intentional. And they never ran into that before because Bradleys are just hanging out at a launch site normally. Now at the end of wipe, they're going to be all over the map. And so they're doing some fixes for that. One, don't target players in safe zones. Also, Bradley, if a player is being targeted and enters a safe zone, stop targeting them. And that may take 2 seconds, but basically, for you to know as a player if it is end of wipe and all of a sudden you're like, why the hell is Bradley following me? I'm out gathering stone and I'm like near outpost. What's going on here? Well, you can run into a safe zone and Bradley will stop, you know, picking on you. Also, they fixed some collider things going on at nuclear missile silo, sorry, which was causing some glitchy movement. And they also replaced the elevator sign on floor -2 of the nuclear missile silo to actually more indicate it's an exit. So they added an exit sign where you do need to exit at nuclear missile silo because there is only one exit at nuclear missile silo. So it probably makes sense to have an exit sign there. But that's some of what we got going on in Rust development this week. Once again, not a ton to show off as generally we see the week after Force Wipe and everything like that. But good forward progress and this awesome Twitch Rivals event going live just next Tuesday. And with that, Shadow D, do we have any questions from the audience?
Actually, no. We have one, I think. We did get a sub in. Thank you for that. A prime.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
I wanted to say his name, but I won't the pronouncing Brun. Yeah, Brun 1KX. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
When is Whip?
So whips for the Thursday not force wipes is basically it depends on what server you're going for. So I'll only speak to Rustified servers. For Rustified servers, when we're dealing with not a first Thursday and not a forced wipe, the servers wipe at 3 p.m. local time for the region. And so this week, what we have going on, given the forced wipe was last week, it is just the Thursday weekly wipe servers wiping today, and they wipe at 3 p.m. local time for the region. So basically, every Rustified server wiping today has, with the exception of the US servers, which are wiping in about an hour and 45 minutes at 3 p.m. EST. But other than that, all the other servers have wiped for Rustified. And if you're wondering about other Rust servers, definitely go check out their Discord and or website. Isn't it funny how to say like go check out their website seems so antiquated now because everything's on Discord, but check out their Discord because everyone has their wipe information on there if you're wondering about a different community or server other than Rustified.
Please ask the Grandmaster if his new anti-cheat is working better than last month.
We are moving forward with the anti cheat. we did have a step back with the anti cheat in that the third party doing the anti cheat uh, had a breakdown and is reconfiguring how their approach is going. And I know I'm speaking ambiguously. Sorry, but deal with it. It's all to say we had a slight setback with that, but thankfully, what I found in life is what might occur in the initial as like, oh shit, I wish this didn't happen. It's like that struggle, that breakdown that you're confronted with can push you further to do better than you would have otherwise if not originally confronted by that breakdown. And that is kind of what I'm seeing happened here because we were relying a bit on a third party that got stalled. It still has potential going forward, but in the stalling of that, we've been able to parlay a couple things we're doing and improve some of the strategies we're doing and really get more independence and ownership of the anti cheat that we're using. So it's all to say we're still moving forward, and I'm really proud with how well we're moving forward with anti cheat. And it is all to say also, I will acknowledge after the wipe last week, there was an influx of cheaters that was more so than previous weeks. And this is kind of something as a server owner that we see. It's an ebb and flow with the cheater community. And we saw more of a flow last week, but that's an opportunity as well for us to really uh, better hone our strategies and learn how these people are getting through and be able to uh, detect it better and get rid of them quicker going forward. Now, of course, I wish I didn't have to do any of this because I ideally we just run a server and ideally easy anti cheat, the people FacePunch pay to do this would do their job in a timely fashion where it didn't ruin people's gameplay. That's not the case at the moment. It hasn't been the case for a while. I do hope at some point in the future it's the case. But I'll tell you, at Rustified servers in the meantime, I've given up counting on them and we're trying to do our own thing and trying to improve it as much as possible. And we're improving on that every day, every week. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. And I'm really excited with where it's going and where it's at. So that's where we're at with the anti-cheat stuff.
Thank you, Bugs. What is that command for pets in the control settings?
The command for pets in control setting, well, it is PETS, right? That's the question. Pets.
Yes.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but also off the top of my head, I'm not sure why it would matter because the pets are still a work in progress. I think it's going to be a like canine DLC at some point, but anything related to pets at the moment is a callback to the Halloween events, and so it doesn't really do anything in vanilla gameplay. If you're dealing with modded stuff, I'm not really sure how to answer the question. But the fact of the matter is, in vanilla gameplay, and that's our specialty, there's not really anything to do with pets right now or commands.
Do you think they're gonna fix the black wires in the air?
Oh man, I hope so. You know, one of the things I do every week is we do this article on rustsweat.com, and part of that is I do a picture for everything. I do a bunch of pictures, and I like taking pictures. I'm a photographer as a hobby and have been for a while, and I was a graphic designer, very anal retentive when it comes to design elements. So let me tell you, seeing those those wires, let's just call them that, seeing those pixelated wires throughout the I hope they fix it soon, but it hasn't been fixed yet. And in the meantime, just point the camera elsewhere or point your eyes elsewhere. It's my only recommendation.
When is Charitable Rust?
Charitable Rust is actually going to be early this year. If you're not familiar, Charitable Rust is our yearly charity event. This year is going to be 9 years running, I believe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so this is going to be the ninth year. In 8 years, we have raised over $1 million for various different charities, and all through just the generosity of people playing Rust. And so that's our yearly charity event, Charitable Rust. Normally, it runs in November, mid November. This year, we're doing it a bit earlier. So it's going to be October 14th and 15th. So save the date now. Also, if you've participated in Charitable Rust previous years, it's going to be different this year. There's going to be a lot of what we had previously, but also we're working in the current plan is to have accelerated vanilla gameplay throughout the whole weekend as well. So we'll have the game servers, we'll have carnivals, we'll have mazes, we'll have casinos, we'll have places to like do stuff you wouldn't normally ever be able to do in Rust. But then around all of that, you'll be able to play an accelerated vanilla gameplay wipe for the weekend for charity. We're getting a ton of streamers involved. It's going to be it's going to be awesome. We're really excited about it. So that is once again October 14th and 15th. Mark your calendar. It's a Saturday and Sunday, and more information coming soon with regards to that.
It was charity water, right?
And yeah, this year we are once again supporting Charity Water. That is a charity we supported years ago, and we so loved working with them. And it is such a fundamental cause. That's one of the things that we look to do in all of our charitable Rust events. It's like important that we raise funds in a way that it's a cause that resonates with everyone around the world, and a fundamental need that everyone has around the world. And so we've done mental health and we've done education and we've done a bunch of wonderful things. But we came back this year just to Charity Water because what they do is provide fresh water to people around the world who don't have it. And when it comes to fundamental needs, it doesn't get much better than that. And it doesn't get much more fundamental than that. And years ago, when we did Charity Water, we raised $62,000, I want to say. And that was enough to create fresh water sources and communities that have provided freshwater access to like 500,000 people consistently just through that. And so this year we have them again, and we're raising closer the last couple of years, more like $250,000 raised. So now we're looking at raising enough to provide fresh water for millions of people around the world this year. So October 14th and 15th, that is the date to mark. And really, where we raise the most funds is, and thanks to Facepunch, is allowing us to do skins on the item store, the proceeds of which go to this amazing cause. So stay tuned not only for the weekend to join in for some awesome and fun events, but then keep an eye on the item store because the proceeds of all those exclusive charitable Rust skins go towards this amazing cause as well.
Do you think coconuts will ever grow on the palm trees?
Man, I hope so. It's funny. It's like there's a lot of little things in the game that
Bananas.
I'm surprised we don't have yet. I also want to punch someone in the face. Like I'll be honest, it's that they developed the game. Their name is Face Punch. Why? And I start out naked. I got not much to work with, but I got a fist. I should be able to punch someone in the face, right?
Right.
Anyway, I get caught up in that occasionally. It's been 10 years. I'm getting my hopes down. But yeah, I wish we had pineapples, coconuts, all sorts of
Bananas.
things,
Yeah.
bananas, and a coconut should fall from the tree. If you're naked and you're like hidden in a tree, you should have a chance like with the pickles where you're hidden and a coconut falls on your head and knocks
Imagine.
half your health off,
I
right?
was about to
Like,
say Nick getting knocked
see?
out by
Yeah.
coconut. Yeah.
And that's what I love about this game because it's such a sandbox. There's so many opportunities for like for for so much good stuff. And that's what's great also. The devs keep every week, every month developing new things. So it's cool to see where this might go. But yes, 100% team coconut.
Someone just said, you also have arms. Why not give someone a hug?
Oh, see, now you're thinking. Now you're thinking.
Toxic Rust, let's all hug.
They don't call it hug punch though, do they? No, anyway.
And throwing poop. We need that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
what was
everything
that
you
other
could
game that
hold in
had
your
that?
hand, you should be able to throw it, right?
Yeah, right.
Handshake, breakdance fighting. There's a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, we got gestures. We should be able to do like handshakes and then like complex handshakes that require a couple different gestures. That way, if you come across someone not on your team UI and you're like, hey, you cool? You do like the right handshake. And I was like, okay, you cool. No, I just went too far with that. But,
High five.
the sky's the limit.
Let me see. There's not really much. So you said Twitch drops next week, yeah?
Yeah, starting Tuesday, the 14th, there is the next round of Twitch drops. It's all related to the Twitch Rivals event. This is the Rust Battles 3 event. And that is a 4-day event. So it's going from the, oh man, here's where the jet lag hit me because I just tried to recall numbers. And sorry, if you're just tuning in, I am on the road this week and I'm a little jet lagged and off. But I think, what is it, the 14th to the 20th or the 18th? I should really just go to
16th,
the
so I don't
Facebook
want to
check.
say.
Oh,
I
yeah,
need to
I'm
check.
like totally up. Is it the 16th to the 20th? That's what it is.
I believe so, but I'm going to check for you. Hang on.
Cool. And I apologize, guys. I am not used to the whole pandemic happened and I didn't travel forever. And now I've traveled and I had like a 7-hour time zone difference yesterday and I don't know where I am.
It's from May
And you try to ask me
16th,
numbers.
8 p.m. to May 20th to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So the
Yeah.
16th to the 20th. And the real important thing, go to twitch.facepunch.com. Make sure your account is linked uh, to all that stuff. And then tune in. And there's 23 drops to have. And it's going to be an awesome Twitch Rivals event as well. So a lot of entertainment to be had as well.
Is there any news on hardcore servers?
No, hardcore kind of faded. Hardcore, if you think about it, I mean, they had softcore that never really hit. Before that, they had PvE. You realized we've had a PvE mode in the game since before experimental became experimental, and that didn't hit. And hardcore, I think the devs do want to bring it back and make it a thing. And I think they should because I think there's potential there. I think there's a lot of minutia caught up in tech tree stuff and various little logistics. I don't think it's that far off from being a viable game mode, but for whatever reason, it in its current state doesn't resonate with the audience, and so there aren't many, if any, populated hardcore servers. But I think the devs are aware of that and they do want to shift it, and so I think we could see some changes that do shift that going forward.
Let's do a recap.
All right, cool. We'll do a little recap, decap, and then there's not much to show off this week, and I'm kind of jet lagged, so we are going to end the stream early. But before we do, a little recap, decap, and if you have any questions, feel free to do in chat, Misty underscore that's me, and we'll get to those questions. But yeah, to recap, decap a little bit here, we are 1 week from the big update. And so we did see a number of hot fixes and things like that, as we generally do after a first Thursday and forced wipe type of thing. So the hot fixes were mainly for performance and stability and several other miscellaneous exploit fixes. And on top of that, we also have Twitch Rivals going live on Tuesday. And once again, sorry for my miscalculation of the dates. It is the 16th to the 20th is Twitch Rivals event, and it starts on Tuesday. And link your account, go to twitch.facepunch.com and make sure because there's 23 or so drops and you can get them all just by making sure your account's linked and then watching the event, which is fun to watch anyway. Now, also in other development news, we do have some Hack Week action being worked on this week. If you're not familiar, Hack Weeks are something that a lot of development teams will do, and Facepunch over the last year or so has said every now and again, hey, developers, spend a week on Hack Week. And that's where basically they stop working on what they have been assigned to work on and just basically look at what they think would be a cool or great addition to the game. And so with Hack Week this week, what we've got is some forward progress on the Caldera biome. And this is something that actually we have seen as part of a previous Hack Week back in last November, I believe. And we've seen various commits here and there between then, which is a good sign for a Hack Week project, which means there's a good chance this is actually going to make it into the game. So Caldera biome, if you're not aware, is going to be more of a lava-centric, kind of scorched earth kind of biome. It's lava flows, and instead of a nice freshwater lake, you might have a molten pool of don't step in that, and some various other foliage types and things like that. And we're seeing some more progress on that this week. Not clear if this is going to make its way into vanilla Rust gameplay or if it's going to be more of a specialty thing for custom maps or modded servers or something, but we are keeping a close eye on it. It is like all this other Hack Week stuff still on a separate branch, and so we'll have to keep you posted. Unfortunately, nothing to show off. If you looked at rustified.com and you see some like lava flowing from on a screenshot from a mountain, yeah, that's not the Caldera biome. That was just some clever stuff that one of my guys did to make it look like lava, and but that's not what it looks like. Sorry, not to misrepresent, but we'll let you know as soon as we see anything with the Caldera biome. Also, in the other realm of Hack Week projects, we've got a test AI arena being worked on. And this is not exactly clear what this is going to be, but it seems like it could be a great place for not only maybe developers to test out new changes with AI, but also maybe it could be a good place for players to practice PvE and PvP skills on AI and maybe other players as well. And so we're keeping an eye on that and seeing how that progresses. Still on a separate branch, so nothing to show off. And then finally, in the Hack Week realm, we do have charms being worked on as well. And this we can't show off, I'm sorry, but it does, based on commits, look like there's going to be about 7 known charms. There's going to be a bean can, boots, pixel SMG, custom SMG, a base charm. I don't know what that is. A rotating disco ball. I can imagine that one. And then finally, a generic circle, which, yeah, I can picture that too. Yeah, that's not too far of a stretch. But basically, there's going to be some charms. And based on commits, it's not clear exactly how they're going to go into the game. But if it's anything like charms in real life or in other games, it could just be some nice little like shiny swag to add as sort of like a pseudo just visual only attachment to your weapons or other maybe deployables or something like that. So that's what's going on in the realm of charms. And then finally, we have a couple other things in the realm of just fixes and things like that. Bradleys are not targeting people in safe zones anymore. And they're also not going to continue to target anyone who enters a safe zone after they've been targeted. And that's kind of speaking towards this end of wipe nuclear missile silo kind of in-game event that's coming. It's not here yet. It's not coming this week from what we can see, but it is going to include some sort of big bang, some F-15Es flying over, and then also in the last day of wipe, Bradleys are going to be roaming the map, not just launch site. And so within that, they're calculating for, oh shit, Bradley's following people into bandit camp, and it shouldn't have done that, and we didn't know it was going to do that. So kind of fixes in that realm that we're seeing. Also, they fixed a collider at nuclear missile silo, which is causing some glitchy movement. And they also replaced the elevator sign for floor -2 at nuclear missile silo with just an exit sign. Because if you haven't had a chance to go to nuclear missile silo yet, well, you might not have figured out there's only one exit. And they didn't make it super apparent where that exit was. So this is kind of like a little breadcrumb, it seems like they're giving you, where instead of floor -2, they're just going to say exit. But that is what is going on in Rust development for this week. And yeah, we got any other questions before we wind this puppy down?
There's a few. When is the procedurals caves?
That's a good question. That we did see some work on um, a while ago. And then I want to say 3 months ago, we saw more work on procedural caves. That was when they were building out the nuclear missile silo. And a piece of me thought, well, if the nuclear missile silo is going to be underground and procedural caves, well, caves, they're underground, maybe they're going to link up. That didn't prove out to be the case. And in fact, it's been about 2 months or so since I think we've seen anything commit wise on procedural caves. So it's all to say, I don't know if they're completely in concept limbo at the moment, but they're definitely falling into that bucket. And we're not sure how procedural caves are going to end up, uh, but it doesn't seem like they're a priority at the moment for the development team.
Are you the owner of Rustified?
Well, yes, I am the owner of Rustified. I started Rustified just about 10 years ago now, actually. Back in the legacy days, we started I wanted to play DayZ, and my computer, because I was running on a Mac at the time, didn't run DayZ, but I was into that survival, that new, like, because it's not new now, right? But that whole survival, lose everything because you die to a wolf video game type of thing. And DayZ didn't work out, so I tried Rust Legacy, and I fell in love with it. And so about 10 years ago, started a Rust Legacy server. It didn't take off, but it was timely enough where when experimental started and that became the new thing, I started just tracking the development of that. And we ran some of the first servers for experimental when there were literally only 10 experimental servers and like 5,000 legacy servers. And we just kind of grew from there. So it's been really cool to see over the past 10 years. But yeah, I did start this.
You also did some CS:GO back then, right?
Yeah, actually, before this, I ran some Counter Strike source servers like way back in the day, uh, and some other stuff there. But that was a long time ago, so I'm not going to go into that history right now. But I do have a history in video game and building communities in the video game space, and I love it. It brings a smile to my face, and so and this what we've grown here with Rustified and what Rust has done and what Facepunch has done over the years, it's really cool because this is, I don't think people acknowledge and realize how special this is. But for a video game to come out and then have monthly and weekly updates over and over and over, and it changes the paradigm over and over and over, that's not how many Call of freaking Duties have there been since Rust Legacy came out, you know? And yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
I
all to say
think,
this is a really special thing.
yeah, it's not often you see developers stay so up to date with the game for so many years. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that's it, Bugs. No more questions.
All right, wonderful. Well, I am going to go rest up because I'm horribly jet lagged, and I hope I didn't blabber on too much. I do notice when I'm tired, I end up just blabbing a bit. So
No,
thank
you
you
did
for
good.
thank you so much, and thank you for staying with me and for tuning in. As always, like we're not the developers of the game. We're not on the Facebook payroll. We're just an independent organization who loves running the best servers that we can and reporting on development news of this awesome game. And the only way that we can do this every week is through the support of the community. So, to everyone who tunes in and watches, to people who give bits and subscribe on Twitch, and to our beautiful, wonderful, loyal VIP customers, thank you all so much for the support. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We'll be back next week. Tune in on Rustify.com. As always, every Thursday, there's an update post that goes through everything going on in development. And check out, we've been doing a lot more on the socials for like shorts and everything like that. So check out Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. But you can find it if you're interested. But really, just thank you for tuning in. And to my co MCs, Artemis and Misty, thank you guys so much as always.
You're welcome as always, Bugs.
Yeah, you're welcome, Bugs.
And with that, we're going to wind this puppy down. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.